There's a quarterback battle out here with you and Gardner Minshew. How's it going so far?
I'm slowing down the progress, and I think I've been pretty clear with you guys about that.
God bless Bo Nix!
So the better he is, if I'm beating him out, that means I'm just raising it that much more.
You hate him, right?
Who's gonna win the only real quarterback competition this preseason? An NFL record tying 6 QBs were selected in the first round of the 2024 NFL Draft. That feels like ages ago, but even with that many quarterbacks drafted, we really only have 3 quarterback competitions as the 2024 season approaches. Caleb Williams is gonna start in Chicago. Jaden Daniels will start in Washington. Drake May probably won't start week 1 in New England, but there's no competition there with Jacoby Brissett, just an easement plan for May. The same is true for J.J. McCarthy in Minnesota as Kevin O'Connell tries to beat the hippie out of J.J. before he gets on the field. Which leaves us with 3 mildly surprising legit quarterback battles in the NFL. Russell Wilson and Justin Fields competing in Pittsburgh, Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell in Vegas, and Bo Leave in Nix himself, and Jarrett Stidham here in Denver. And spoiler, Zach Wilson is not in the mix for the starting job. I do apologize to all of the Mile High MILFs, the most powerful board of regents we have here in Colorado. So today I want to reveal who I believe will win the starting gig for these 3 storied franchises, and the answer will absolutely blow your mind. Like a stick of C4 placed directly into your frontal lobe. Nah, just kidding. It won't be that surprising. Whew, let's get sports. I don't want to start this episode off on a somber note, but I did want to address something that's very serious going on right now. Just kidding, subscribe. You gotta subscribe, fucking nerd. Oh, I had you. Today's episode is sponsored by Underdog Fantasy. Woof woof, mother licker. We are currently at 9,750 signups away from Underdog having to pay me $1 million, which means at our current rate, they will not have to pay me $1 million. But my influence with Underdog is strong because they've added a new game called Streaks. Not just something you see in your underwear anymore. It's in your Underdog. After they watched me miss 50 straight picks last year, they decided to reward players who were not dumb and hit on their streaks. This is really cool, and I'm gonna try it during the NFL season. All you have to do is make a 2-pick entry hit, just a 2-pick entry hit, and if that one hits, you make 9 additional 1-pick entries at your own pace. If you go 11 for 11, you can 1,000 extra money. So that means $10 can turn into 10,000, and if you do it, please use my code ThatsGood or link below to sign up. Otherwise, I don't get shit. Plus, when you use my code, you get to claim your very own special pick, plus your first time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. Link below. Okay, this offseason, the Broncos, in a move to piss off Deshaun Watson, gave Russell Wilson full release. He, of course, signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers on a vet minimum as Denver would continue to pay around $39 million of his guaranteed salary. That allowed the Steelers the cap flexibility to trade for Bears quarterback Justin Fields and only give up a 2025 conditional 6th-round pick that may very well turn into a 4th-round pick based on Justin Fields playing time. Now, some are suggesting that the Steelers wouldn't play Justin Fields out of fear of giving up a 4th-round pick, which is ridiculous. No sane NFL coach worries about the difference between a 4th and 6th round pick if it means finding your quarterback. I really thought the Raiders would have traded for Justin Fields this offseason based on need, but Fields rejected at least 4 trade destinations before agreeing to go to Pittsburgh. I'm assuming Vegas was in the mix of rejects, and it's probably better for both him and Luke Getsy, the Raiders offensive coordinator, that they went their separate ways after their time together in Chicago. I am personally still actually rooting for Russell Wilson to succeed in Pittsburgh. I think their offense is better suited to his strengths right now. But I knew the moment Mike Tomlin okayed the Justin Fields trade, this would be a real competition throughout the preseason. It was nice to see the Steelers linemen defending the honor of their QBs at practice recently, even if there is no way to look cool while brawling in a Guardian cap. Now, I've jokingly called Justin and Russ the Gemini Men because, like Will Smith in that riveting Oscar-winning movie, Russ is trying to fend off a near literal younger version of himself. Well, one whose growth was never stunted anyway. Now, Russ is the experience, he has the ring, but Justin Fields has all the upside, right? It's really that simple. If you were the Steelers' general manager, you'd look at the 5'11" aging Russell Wilson and then over at the 25-year-old 6'3" Justin Fields and go, what do we have to gain by starting Russell Wilson this season? Can somebody tell me? The answer should be experience, and Russ has some strengths in that department, but not as many as a 13-year pro should have. Russ's numbers in his last two seasons are nearly identical to the numbers in his first 2 years in the league, except his passer rating was actually better as a rookie and sophomore QB. There's a few caveats there, obviously, but the thing about Russ that holds true is he's almost the exact same quarterback every single season. No better, but also no worse. Again, Justin Fields is just 25. Bo Nix, Michael Penix, they're 24.
God bless Bo Nix!
The Steelers are really getting an old-ass rookie with a couple years of NFL experience when you think about it. This was Mike Tomlin on the quarterbacks.
Man, we got two really capable guys that are comfortable being the guy, guys being the guy. We described it as Russ having pole position, meaning that they're going to be given an opportunity to compete, but I just think it's important to lean on his experience and expertise.
The competition there is legit. Also remember, the Steelers are a patient organization, which bodes well for Justin Fields. They're also not in a Super Bowl window. That sucks to hear if you're TJ Watt, who, like his brother JJ, probably is destined to waste his prime on a fringe playoff team that won't go deep into the playoffs unless they get to play against Andy Dalton, who I did a really interesting video about. If the Steelers were desperate or in a win-now situation, Russell Wilson might have the slight edge. Two things happened, though, at the start of training camp that have further opened the window for Justin Fields. Russ missed practice with what the team is calling a minor calf injury, and Justin has been reminding people that he's a pretty damn talented athlete. Mike Garafolo discussed this earlier in the week on the NFL Network.
The longer I talk about this one, the longer I talk to people about this one, the more I'm thinking that this one is more open than maybe we're giving it credit, especially because Russell Wilson has got that calf injury, and the longer it goes and the more reps that Justin Fields gets, the more that I think that this one is actually an open competition.
Look, I noted months ago that Russ could lose his alleged starting role in Pittsburgh if he couldn't prove to Arthur Smith that he understood the playbook and that he could get the ball to every part of the field. And that's a real possibility with Russ. I hate to say it. If you happen to watch Russell Wilson week in and week out, the thing you notice, he does not get his offense in the best position to succeed on a play-by-play basis. And according to some reports, he struggled to even call the plays Sean Payton wanted to run. He may have a better understanding of, say, NFL defenses and coverages than Justin Fields, but I doubt it's by much. Unless, of course, Justin Fields is worse than I believe. Russ isn't nearly as elusive as he used to be, but his arm talent is still magical. Fields might be bigger and faster and better in bed, but Russell Wilson will always have a better arm than Fields. A decision here won't be made, of course, until the teams get a look at both quarterbacks in real preseason games. But Russ's injury has at the very least made this a dead-even quarterback competition in training camp if Russ did ever have the edge. Bottom line, what Fields and Russ do in preseason games is gonna have more weight than any of the other quarterbacks I'm mentioning today. I predict that the Steelers will ultimately see that Justin Fields, while maybe a little more volatile in the passing game and with his decision-making, has greater upside, both athletically and long-term as a quarterback who can still get better in this league and thus fix your QB concerns moving forward. Now, when the Raiders paid Gardner Minshew $25 million this offseason, I assumed the starting job in Vegas was his. I do feel for Farva having to compete with the male model as a rookie and a sex god in his sophomore year at the QB position. Aiden O'Connell had one of the best preseasons of any quarterback last year, but when he was tasked with taking over the starting role in the regular season, he struggled. Well, except for when he played the Chargers. I totally forgot Vegas defeated the Chargers 63-21 a week after losing to the Vikings 0-3. O'Connell in that game threw 4 touchdowns and 0 picks. Minshew, conversely, only had 1 game last season where he threw 3 touchdown passes. He is a true game manager, getting wins in 3 games where he threw 0 TD passes last year. The last man to look that wild but play that safe was probably Kyle Orton. It's early, but reports from Vegas are...
Right now, we need to see somebody just say, AP, I'm your guy. I'm the quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders, and this is what it is. And to be honest, they're competing against really good defense, so it's not going to be pretty at times.
And I think Antonio Pierce is a different beast when we're comparing him to, say, Sean Payton and Mike Tomlin. I think Pierce will simply go with the guy who fucks versus the nerd who knows the nerd-ass playbook to be his QB. Minshew looks like he fucks. O'Connell looks like he has to pay to fuck. Now, I think Gardner's personality is in stark contrast to Antonio Pierce's. Minshew is a little too laid back and frankly weird to earn the starting gig on personality alone.
Now I got a van. It's my forever van, you know. I really went all out and did it the right way.
Shane Steichen also had Minshew on a very short leash last season, and I think Gardner needs to cut that damn thing and rip it like he did when he was in Jacksonville and threw 21 TDs.
Shane Steichen.
He's the real deal, right?
Yes, that's my guy.
I truly believe the Raiders' plan was Michael Penix in the draft. I think they gave Minshew $25 million, assuming he would be a great bridge QB for their rookie. Atlanta messed that up. That should still be their approach. Let Minshew be the bridge for Aiden O'Connell, or the tank commander who puts you in position to get your quarterback in the 2025 draft. Now, I feel like the Raiders will start Minshew week 1 simply because why else would you pay him $25 million on a 2-year deal to back up Aiden O'Connell? There were cheaper veteran backups available, but the Raiders frivolously spending money shouldn't surprise anybody. Now, I'm a little surprised that the Broncos are presenting an open competition between Jarrett Stidham and God bless Bo Nix.
God bless Bo Nix!
I guess I've always been willing to admit that there would be some sort of pseudo-competition here in Denver after the Broncos took Bo Nix at pick 12.
God bless Bo Nix!
I think for posterity's sake that made sense, but it appears that Jarrett Stidham's understanding of the playbook is currently holding some weight, even though Bo Nix has about 80,000 more quarterback reps than Stidham over the last 4 years. I like Jarrett Stidham, and he's a decent QB. I'm just not sure I can stand to waste even a single game. Hell, a single snap with him as the starter. In no world will he be the long-term solution for the Broncos, and it will drive me mad if I have to wait for the Nixon campaign to start. Keep in mind, training camp takes are literally the worst. No quarterback is winning or losing his job by throwing picks in practice or dropping dimes with no pass rush. That said, Jarrett Stidham is keeping his name in the mix for QB1 because he's got a year's head start on Bo Nix. Not in life. I'm pretty sure Jarrett Stidham is a full 6 years younger than Bo Nix, but in training camp, aka practice. Sean Payton also knows what Stidham can do in real game action, but Bo Nix has started to heat up. And I say this with huge ass quotations and win training camp days. Keep in mind, Sean Payton is not adverse to taking risks. If you think he's playing it safe week 1, you don't know him at all. Bo Nix will make enough progress to earn the starting gig week 1. The only way Nix isn't a week 1 starter is if he's so bad, Sean believes Bo will hold back the development of other young offensive players.
This is a young group, and there's always something dangerous about young and hungry.
I also think it's okay if Bo Nix plays badly in the preseason. That's not going to sway any decisions. But if Stidham plays poorly, it could cost him any chance at starting. The difference between the Broncos and the Steelers right now are expectations. The Steelers believe they should be competing for maybe a top spot in the AFC North, fight for a playoff position. The Broncos and Sean Payton specifically know this is a development year for their young roster. Suffering through the bumps and bruises with the rookie QB is expected, and you gain more by doing that than starting a quarterback who may be a little more NFL polished in hopes to keep your season on track early.
Anyway, so good story. Feel good story, right?
God bless Bo Nix!
Let Bo sink or swim with those young players. He sucked back at Auburn, and he figured out how to bounce back. Sucking in the NFL early will not deter him. I expect him to suck and suck through it and suck until he doesn't suck anymore. You're not gonna suck anymore, Bo, once you suck enough. Ultimately, Bo Nix, Justin Fields, and Gardner Minshew will start week 1. That's my prediction.
You hate him, right?
He's a tough guy to hate.
Thanks for watching That's Good Sports. Don't forget to use my code That's Good at Underdog Fantasy. Otherwise, I will continue to be a poor YouTube man. And if you're still watching, you might as well subscribe. Come on now. That's free.